Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is Friday, April 14th, 2023, and this is episode 56. My name is Roz and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada with my husband and my two kids who are 13 and 11. I think that's it. I'm so thrown off with what I say on the daily vlogs versus what I say on here. Anyway, I would like to say welcome to any new subscribers and thank you very much for coming back if you are a returning viewer. Today for you, I have what am I wearing, works in progress, events, stash, and some chatter. Let's get started. What am I wearing? Today I am wearing one of my foolproof cowls. This is a pattern by Louise Zasbangam, and it is a double looped cowl knit on the bias. So it is all knits and no ends to weave in, except for your starting and ending, but that is it. That is the entirety of the ends to weave in. This one is made from the light gray is a let's see if I can find a section, is a Sea Turtle Fiber Arts in, what is it called? Silver? It's a very, very pale gray. And then the purple and blue is an Upsuke Merino sock. And I don't think the colorway had a name, so they dyed stuff out of their store, and while I was in Souk, I picked that up, and now I have it in this lovely squishy cowl. So I have 3 foolproofs. I love them. I wear them a lot. They keep your neck warm without being too warm. They're nice over like a t-shirt or a longer shirt, and I don't have to futz with them. So there's my spiel on those. So that's what I'm wearing today, and we will move on to works in progress. My first work in progress, I've actually made, well, I feel like it's a lot of progress this week, and these are my crazy orange socks. So there's the top of the foot, and I have a heel. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but I tell you, I have a heel on both. So the pattern that I'm using for these is Vanilla Reversed by Annie Fletcher, and I thought about doing an even heel, but with all the ribbing that I'm doing on it, I just find that the ribbing on the heel fits nicely with it. So I modify this pattern, not to give too much of the secret sauce away, but basically you can see in the pattern pictures that it has this ribbed pattern up the back that slowly decreases. And then I do a 3x1 rib on the leg of my sock when I want them to be a bit stretchier. So I start that 3x1 rib pattern right from where I leave the stitches from the bottom of the foot when I start going around and around again. So yeah. So that's the only modification I've done. This is some random yarn that I had in my stash. So it is crazy, but fun. And yeah, it's working up well. I'm just basically going to keep knitting until I have a little bit left, and then I will switch to a 1x1 rib, and then the socks will be done. So very happy with that. Progress is good. I don't have anything else to say on that, but that has been my take-along project to different places, driving and whatnot. So it's been getting a lot of love this week. Next up is the main project that I have been consistently working on every single evening. And it's in my nice basket, which I'm going to put on my lap so I can hold it all. But it's my D20 Musselburgh. So we've started with the top. And then we've moved our way down, done all of this. Look how much it is. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so crazy. And I don't know that it's something that I would ever wear, but I'm sure somebody will wear it. And I'm having fun doing it. So in here, I've got my dice tray, and I've got the 2 yarns that I'm working with right now because my kids have been helping me roll. I do have everything written down in my booklet so I know what I'm doing, but basically this pink, they rolled it this morning and it just had 1 row, so I said, oh, you better roll another one. So then we had 4 rows of this one or something. I don't know. I'll look it up in my book in a minute, but yeah, so that I figured that I would get some work done on that at some point today. So I'm ready to go with that. But yeah, I think I've got, where's my marker? So this marker is 15 inches and I need to get 18 1/4. So I just got maybe another inch or so, and then I will be ready to decrease, and then it'll be done. It's so exciting, so cool. Such a neat concept. I'm really, really enjoying it. So, and did I talk about it? Yeah, so pattern, details. The pattern is Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague, and she has lots of great, like, really classic hat patterns. She has lots of other patterns too, but her hat patterns are very classic and easily changeable. So this pattern in particular, you can use with any weight of yarn. You just cast on with what the needle size to get the kind of fabric that you like, and then you measure as you go, and she gives you all the math and all the charts and all the stuff, and it's very straightforward to follow. So that is that. The yarn that I'm using for this project is Ginger Snap That in her 2021 Advent Calendar. I made a cowl and a hat out of it. So I have now knit this, and I will still have some left over because it's a mini skein for 24 days. So, and the full skein is around here somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but that I have that out and in its separate bags, and I can kind of rearrange the colors. I am excited to figure out what else I can do to finish off all of those mini skeins. I thinking a shawl or something for Taylor, maybe a cowl. I don't know. We'll have to see what it is that she's been wearing, her shawl, the rainbow shawl that we showed you a couple weeks ago, like nonstop. So I think another shawl or cowl would be appreciated by her. She enjoys wearing, you know, like blousey tops, and then she's freezing. So just having a little extra layer, something cute that's not like a sweatshirt, would be nice for her to have. Yeah, so that is it for my D20 Musselburgh. I have two new projects to talk about. The first one is crochet. I know. I am a multi-craftual person. Ta-da! So this is going to be Taylor's Hibernate blanket. So this is a pattern called Hibernate Blanket by Yarnspirations Design Studio, who is the owner of many yarn labels, and they put out a lot of free patterns for their yarn. So it is like, it's decently wide. So, and there'll be a border on it too. So I don't know what the border will be yet, but anyway, yeah. This yarn is Bernat Blanket, and the blue is North Sea, and the gray is Vapor Gray. So yeah, fairly straightforward colors. I have 3 balls of each, and yeah, just kind of plugging away. It took me a bit to kind of get it set up, but now that I've got the pattern going, yeah, it's lovely. I do have to look at it more. I'm not as used to crocheting as I am to knitting, so I definitely am like looking at where I'm placing the stitches, but I've got the pattern down. I'm hardly looking at the pattern page, which I do have next to me just in case. And I'm using one of my new crochet hooks with the ergonomic kind of hold to it, so I don't hurt my wrist or hand or anything. So yeah. I am using an 8mm hook, which the pattern calls for a 10, which I don't have. And with this 8mm, I'm getting a nice, like, dense fabric. You can kind of see it like a little bit through it, but I would worry with the 10mm that you would get like a loosey-goosey fabric that you want a like nice, dense, cozy blanket. Anyway, I think it's working out perfect. the last project, if you've been watching my vlogs, a few days ago I mentioned that I cast on for a headband because I needed some movie knitting. I find that in our movie theater it's very dark, like we have all the lights off except for the screen. So it's similar to a regular movie theater. And I find that I drop stitches a lot in when I use fingering weight yarn, or especially something tight like a sock, and then I just have to fix it or rip it back later. So, and then my Musselburgh hat I could have done, but then I have to like stop and roll the dice and need to be able to see and all that kind of stuff. So I thought no to that, and I hadn't started the blanket yet. And then the other projects that I have on the go right now need chart reading and take a lot more concentration. So, or picking up stitches and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that, but I started a headband out of this yarn. This is some leftovers I have. It's quite a decent size ball, of Araucana Nature Wool Solids. It's something I picked up from a yarn store a long time ago. I knit like a kind of cowl scarf thing, that maybe I'll bring it out. I don't know. I think I just put buttons on it, and the wool's a little scratchy, so I don't often reach for it. And it's not a color that goes, like I had a navy jacket for a while and it just wasn't quite the right color. I have a black jacket now, so it'd probably be okay, but now I'm showing you what I started working on. So I started knitting a headband in like a seed stitch, but it was just when I finished the movie and I looked at it and I was like, there's no way that this can be a headband. It was like this tall. Like, you know, like you want a headband just to like cover your ears, right? And it was like an extra inch or two taller than that. So it wasn't going to work. So what I did is I just cast on another Musselburgh. Because you can just cast on and go and measure it and figure it out later. So that is what I've done. I am using a 5mm needle for these, and these are some of my Lika fixed circular needles. So they're like black because the different sizes are different colors. So, but they're a wood needle, but I love them. I love all of their needles. I think I gotta invest in some smaller diameter ones, because I think I would enjoy socks on these. They're just a little more sturdy than like the Clover ones, or what's the other ones I got? Knit Picks, I think. I broke a couple because I just hold on too tight. But yeah, so I started this, and it's just motoring along. It's perfect. I mean, I'm doing the increases. I think I have one more round of increases, and then it will just be roundy until basically I'm almost out of yarn. So, yay! And I do have some other Aran weight scraps that if I don't have enough of this to finish the hat, I can finish it with something else. So we will move on to events. First up for events today, I have already talked about the D20 knit along. So M to the third is hosting this knit along, and basically you roll a D20 to pick which color you move to next on your project. Some people are doing hats or sweaters or shawls. Some people are rolling another dice like I am to figure out how many rows you do. You know, you can visit her website for all the details. She also has a YouTube channel as well, so you can check her out there. And I think it goes till June sometime, so plenty of time to join if that's something that interests you. You can roll dice online. You don't have to have a physical dice if you're not, don't have a 20-sided dice at home. You can totally just ask one of the services like Google or Siri to roll a dice for you, and it will give you a number. So there you go. Next up is the Northern Knits podcast. They also have a YouTube channel here, and they are doing their spring knit along, make along. Yeah, lots of things are welcome, but it's just, and there's no prizes or anything. It's just an along to enjoy spring being here. I still need to figure out what I'm going to make for that, but I keep casting on new things, so I don't know if I will. But it is fun to see what everyone else is doing and working on. So yeah, there is that. And we will move on to Stash. stash this week. I have no new stash. I do have my Fireweed Fiber Co. monthly sock club on the way. I got the notification it's on the way, but I don't have it yet. So yeah, we'll have to wait for next week for new fancy yarn. But I completely forgot last week to review my monthly numbers with you. So for March, which was 2 weeks ago now, I brought in the only skein of yarn that I brought. So I'm looking down at my notes. The only skein of yarn that I brought in was my monthly sock club. So that's 511 meters. And then for out, I have the carrot headband. I have 2 horntails, a musselburgh, a scrappy hat, my amethyst shawl, cable headband, more than one, I think, and my hinterland. So that all added up to 2,203 meters. So that is an impressive amount. My hinterland was a lot of that for sure. But my amethyst shawl was in there too, so that's good. And so my totals now I got to look at the next page. Hold on. My totals to the end of February is that I still had 1,695 more in than out. So my running total for January, February, and March, in I had 4,995 meters, and out I had 4,992 meters. So if you can do the math in your head, that is a 3-meter difference. So I have 3 meters more in than out so far at the end of March. I have been very good this month. Tanis Fiber Arts just did an update with fingering weight that would be perfect for a city limit sweater. And did I buy it? No, I closed the window. I was looking at it, it was amazing, and I closed the window because I was like, I don't need it. I have all this beautiful yarn. I have a plan for what I want to make it out of. I don't need more. I need to knit with what I've got. That doesn't mean that I won't buy some at some point. Also, I am planning a yarn date with a friend of mine to go up to the yarn store in Vernon, so I can also wait for that. I also need some more needles. I think that might be my purchase of the yarn store trip. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, there's just some sizes that I use a lot, and I like to have multiple projects on the go, as you guys can see. So there's just some sizes where I'm kind of like, oh, it'd be great if I had a couple more of this size. So I think I should look at those and purchase some nice needles, and maybe if something strikes my fancy, I can purchase that as well. But yeah, using up leftovers, using up yarn is high priority this year. To review, my goals for the year are more out than in, have plans for incoming yarn and document it, and start projects from my queue. So that will be something else that I will do before I go to the yarn store, is kind of take a look at some of the projects that are in my queue and go, do I have yarn for that? And then buy for those projects, because those are things I know I want to make, and then I can buy yarn specifically for those if I don't have something that works out of my stash. So let's move on to chatter. For chatter this week, first up we have books. I have finished 1 book. Doesn't feel like a lot, but it was a big book. I've had to take it out 3 times from the library to finish it, and it is now completed. So this is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I've read a lot of her other series. A Court of Thorns and Roses is definitely my favorite. Yeah, anyway, she has a lot of good books. This is her newest series that she's writing, and now I have the second book out from the library, and it's like over 1,000 pages on my Kobo. So I think this will be a multiple library trip as well, but while I have it, I'm going to read it. So I've also been reading Kith and Kin, and I'm like halfway through. So I'm carving out time to read a physical book, whereas on my Kobo, I read at night in bed, because I can kind of lay on my side and snuggle in, and I don't have to worry about losing my page or anything else. So that is enough for books right now. And yeah, not much else has been going on. If you want to check out kind of day-to-day stuff that I'm talking about, whatever, thing pops into my head that's crafting wise or whatever, you can check out the daily vlogs in April. And I posted April 1st through 7th as one video, and it was almost an hour long. So I decided not to do that again, because that was actually a lot more work. Felt like a lot more work to kind of weed through that, because I wanted to pull out a lot of things that I was like, oh, I don't know if this really makes sense, or I contradicted it yesterday, so then I cut it out, but then it didn't make sense with like the flow of what I was talking about. So I've gone back to posting every day, and that is definitely, now that I have like the graphics and the kind of layout and stuff, it's just like copy and pasting the next day's in, kind of editing a few things, and then it goes out the door. So it's been a lot easier to keep up with that, and I hope you guys enjoy that more. Seems like it. I got a few comments that you enjoyed the everyday short videos versus the one long video. So there we go. That's that. Now I've rambled on about that. You can learn all about it in my daily vlogs. There is a playlist if you want to just go through and watch all of them. That is there for you too. I think that's about it. Last weekend was Easter. We kind of had a chill weekend. The weather was meh, so we didn't do much. We did have a nice big family dinner with the grandparents, and the kids got chocolate. We did some things inside the house, spring cleanup wise, but nothing outside. But it looks like, I'm just looking out the window, it is beautiful blue sky today. So hopefully we'll have a nice weekend and we'll get some outside stuff done. Our trailer is coming home on Thursday, so we need to get some area prepped for that. And yeah, sell some stuff, buy some stuff. The lists have already started on what I'm purchasing for the trailer. But I am planning on vlogging all of that process and kind of like what we customize, how we arrange things, as part of like my summer prep for summer and then our summer trip. So I don't know if I've really announced on here exactly what we're doing for our summer trip, but it's all coming together now. All the plans have sorted themselves out. So we leave on July the 1st, and we will be back in the middle of August, and we are driving all the way across Canada. Okay, almost all the way across Canada. So we're not going to be able to go to Newfoundland this time. We have 6 weeks basically, and it's hard to make that extra jump and spend the time that we want to in the places we're going to. But yeah, so we'll be going across BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, and then like back through Quebec. You kind of have to go through Quebec on the way there. Quebec, back through Ontario. And then we'll be actually heading south into the States. We're going to an IMSA race at Road America, which is a huge racetrack. We're camping right on the racetrack. It's going to be super fun. And then we're going to head back through like North Dakota, Montana, Washington, and back home. So a bit of we're calling it our cross Canada trip, but we're going back through the States. So, just experience some different places, some different things. And I'll be taking you guys along with us and doing daily vlog style vlogs. And I probably won't do a weekly podcast during that time. Because I won't have the kind of time to, but also I don't know how much knitting time I'm going to have and crafting time, because I won't be at my house where all my crafting stuff is. I will definitely be taking some stuff with me, but like very simple, straightforward projects. I'm kind of planning it out now. Definitely going to have quite a few pairs of socks on the needles as a portable project. Some, you know, just basic worsted weight, all my worsted weight scraps. Have some just like basic hats that I can just kind of work on. And then probably one kind of more bigger, complicated project, but not too complicated because we're going to be spending a lot of time kind of like problem solving and navigating things and whatnot. So just that's what I found works best for our travel, is just to have a simple project that I can pick up and put down and not have to think too much about or worry about sizing or length or anything like that. So yeah, we will see when we get there. I'm sure I will talk to you guys lots about what I'm planning to take, and as far as crafty wise. And then if you're interested in the rest of the stuff on our trailer, I will make sure that that is marked as a trailer prep video, so you guys can watch it if you want to and skip it if you don't. So I'm going to call that a day, and I get back to work. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.